والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
Bismillah, wassalatu wassalam, ala Rasulillah, wabad. Welcome again in our programs that we are covering in discussing aspect of Iman and those things that affects one Iman and influences one Iman. And we are covering things that aid and assist one in the development of our Iman. And now we look at another tool that can be used in strengthening of one's Iman. And this tool that one can use in strengthening of one's Iman is encouraging of good and forbidding of evil. That a Muslim is expected to have this type of description, that he encourages that which is good and he forbids that which is evil. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٌ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, that you're the best of nation that have come forth from mankind. Why is this? Because you encourage that which is good and you forbid that which is evil. So the Muslim, they are known for this description. And they are known for being the best of the nations because they encourage good and forbid evil. So the Muslim have to look to this. The thing that will aid and assist us is that we encourage good and we forbid those things that are evil. And the good that we're discussing or mentioning here is those things that within Islam, outlined in Islam, that these things are good things to be done. And the thing that Islam have made forbidden and unacceptable, these are things that are evil and should be prohibited. Whether these things are against us or for us. So the Muslim have to look at these things. Am I one who encourages good? Or am I one who sees of evil and encourages this? And see of good and does not encourage this. And a person who does not encourage good and forbid evil, eventually he himself fall prey to having weak Iman. And as we said, the Muslim intent is to increase his Iman, and this can only be acquired by a person doing things that will aid and assist him in this. And of these factors that can assist one in increase of Iman is encouraging of good and forbidding of evil. I'll find many places in the Quran, well, that's why I mentioned that the Muslims are encouraged in commanding good and forbidding evil. And even the people before, that they were cursed because they did not encourage evil. That they encouraged evil and they did not command good. As I mentioned, that those people before, that they were cursed on the tongues of Dawood and Isa ibn Maryam and the son of Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus the son of Mary, he and Dawood, who were from prophets as before, that they had cursed the people before them. Why? That these people, they did not encourage good and they did not forbid evil. But instead, they were involved in evil doing and wrongdoing. So they were cursed. So the Muslim look at this as an example. That if this is what occurred of those before, then what will occur with us if we follow that evil example? So the Muslim have to pay attention, serious attention, that those things that of Islam that is done by ourselves and others around us, whether our family members, whether our wives, our children, our parents, our neighbors, the people in our society, we have to encourage them in doing of good. And we have to forbid them of those things of evil. If we turn a blind eye to these things, then this will affect us in a negative way. But if we encourage this, then we see our growth in our Iman. And in most cases, if we encourage these things, there are those who will accept this. And we feel good about ourselves. And we feel good about the person who have taken that advice. So the Muslim have to encourage good and forbid evil, as this also it benefits the society in large. So a society where people are encouraging each other to do good, of righteousness, to pray, to fast. They forbid each other of evil, such as smoking, drinking, fornicating. Then this will make the Muslim a better society. And then they'll fall into being khayra ummatin, that they will be the best of nation, because they have complied with the rule of Allah by encouraging of good and forbidding of evil. So when we stop this, the Muslim starts to decrease in his iman. When a Muslim does of this, he starts to increase in iman. At Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves when a Muslim, he does of good. And this is from the righteous deed. If we see someone doing of something which is not according to Islam, we clarify to the individual in a way of with gentleness, in a way of showing kindness, but clarifying to the person that this is the thing which is correct, and this is not what is correct. So encouraging of good and forbidding evil is of the thing that distinguish the Muslims, that benefit the individual in his own religion, in the growth in his religion, and also the community at large, where they start to strive in this area. So the Muslim have to always look at this, and not to turn, as we said, a blind eye to this aspect of Islam that needs to be revived amongst the Muslim, where the Muslim in different parts of the Islamic world, we have fallen short in this. We are falling short in this area, that we turn a blind eye because of our own desires. We turn a blind eye due to our own culture, cultural habits and traditions that sometimes are not in conformity to Islam, not in line with Islam. So the Muslim have to put Islam ahead and look to the Quran as to its teachings regarding forbidding of evil and encouraging of good. And then this person will be amongst those who have this society that are the best of nation. And this is by encouraging of good and forbidding of evil. So this is of the things that assist in the increase of iman. And as I mentioned, this is of the foundation that the prophets in their teaching that is established upon. That some of the prophets that they taught their communities for over close to 1,000 years, they encourage them towards good, and they forbid upon them evil. And this, they were persistent, they were continuous, they were patient upon this for over 950 years. So these are the examples that we have in prophets before and prophets who came after. So they encourage, and we saw in our prophet, peace be upon him, that when he came with his message of the thing that he encouraged, first and foremost and forbid, he encouraged the oneness of Allah and forbid the evil of shirk, of polytheism, idol worship, even though he knew that there were those amongst the people of his society who would go against him. And he was at that time, the Muslims were few in number, but still, they encouraged that good, that the people should go back to the worship of Allah alone. And they forbid of the people in worshipping a false God. They denounce the worship of false God. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us in the hadith, where he mentioned that if you see a good, then you should stop it with your hand. If you see of an evil, you should stop it with your hand. If not, then by way of speech. And then if not, then hate it in your heart. So evil is in these three categories. We stop it with our hands, if possible. If not, hate it in our heart. Or, so these are the ways in dealing with it. So this is the end of this program. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.